Hey everyone, Delphi Trading here with our weekly market report that we put out for you guys here on YouTube every week. So let's get into the charts. The market's just closed and I have the IWM up here, daily chart. And you can see our forecast from last week not only hit, but it was exceeded. All our targets from last week have hit, which we'll show you. But now what are we looking at here on IWM? Well, IWM has bounced, but right to both moving averages right there right now. We have the 20-day and 50-day right there, and it is struggling to get over. Okay, volume is still going lower even on this bounce, and we have an open gap here. Okay, this open gaps will fill 80% of the time, and then sometimes 80% of the time the stock or index will reverse. You can see the open gap here filled, this open gap here filled. So open gaps are filling, okay? So our forecast now for next week, we're going lower. We think we're going to pivot lower here and go down to fill this gap. So that is what our target will be for next week. We're going down to fill this gap here. Now we could go lower, but for now, for our forecast purposes, we are going to go down to fill the gap is our forecast here. Looking at the Qs, again, our target from last week was more than hit and well exceeded. We can see what happened there. And now the Qs is closed barely above the 20-day moving average. Okay, so this forecast is going to be a little different. Okay, we can see as well the volume on this bounce is still going lower. CCI is even hinging lower as we're up here. So, what we're going to do here is contingent. If we close below the 20-day moving average, which it's really right at, we do think we're going to come down here to revisit, maybe to the 50-day moving average. Okay. We could fill that gap, but right now we're going to go down towards that 50-day moving average. If contingent, we close below the 20-day. Now, there is also a gap up here, so Qs is stuck between two gaps. So it wouldn't surprise us if it decided to keep going higher, it fills that gap and then reverses to fill this gap. So we could have something here happening if the markets go higher again, where both these gaps fill, and maybe even by next week. But first things first, we would be more to the downside here. So if we do get below the 20-day, we do think we're going to head towards that open gap in the 50-day moving average. I mean, we are neutral. I mean, this could go either way here. Okay, but because of the CCI and the volume drop, we would lean more lower. Okay, SPY is well over the 20-day moving average now. There are no gaps above. We're going to have resistance up here, in this area here. So we would be very cautious. And again, watch the volume. I'm not sure what happened here on this candle. But again, if we get below the 20-day, we do think we're going to go lower. Okay, so this is more of a tougher forecast. We could go higher here, not much higher. And then if the volume keeps dropping, we could head back down to maybe test the 20-day. Okay, so, this could end up happening. If we get below the 20-day, that for us would be more of a solid forecast to come down here again. So as long as the SPY is holding the 20-day moving average, it could challenge these highs up here. Will it get to the all-time high? We don't know, but watch the volume. If the volume keeps dropping, okay, we could reverse lower. This downside forecast is if the volume keeps heading lower, okay? So also if we get a pivot, okay, if we get a pivot up here, then we could head back down lower, okay? And then it is kind of early to look at the monthly chart, but just to kind of look ahead to see what's going on right now, We talked about this last month that we would need to see a bearish candle or a couple bearish candles up here with a pivot to call a move much lower into next year. Well, you know, we already have a red hammer and the volume is much lower. Now, we don't think we're going to get up here, even though we're not halfway through. We'd be surprised if we take out that volume. And then look at the indicators below. So something to watch. Again, we will check this towards the end of the month. I can tell you right now, if we were at the end of the month right now, this would be a very bearish setup. So just keep an eye on this on the monthly charts. Okay, so that's it from us. Oh, by the way, let's go back here. We're going to give out we haven't done this in a while. Let's go back and give out, we were looking at Expedia. So this is kind of a bonus play here on EXPE, okay? This was on our Delphi signal earlier today with a sell alert. But what we're seeing here now, again, contingent on a pivot lower, we do think we're going lower here on Expedia, okay? So if we get a pivot lower, again, a pivot is a lower high, lower low. We think we're going to come back down towards this top Bollinger Band here. Look, I mean, look how far above we are the Bollinger Band. Okay, look at the volume going down. Super massive pivot on the CCI from over 400. Stochastic is almost off the map with a bearish divergence. And look how far away we are from the moving average. So contingent on a pivot, we do think Expedia will head lower. I mean, this support could even be in play down here. So just be very careful here. And if there is a pivot lower, we do think Expedia will start to head lower at a minimum to the Bollinger Band down here. Okay. So again, that's it from us. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe us here on YouTube. Please get the word out. We are just absolutely crushing it every week. And this year has just been nothing short of incredible. So we'll see you again next week. And as always, good luck trading. Take care.